Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and when you're watching this. Welcome to a new vlog. How are you guys doing? Hope you're all well. Let me know what you think of the new EV segment in the comment section. In case you haven't watched it, go check it out. The response hasn't been that great, but news usually don't gather so much of interest from our generation because the typical age group of people who watch my channel is around 18 to 34. So probably not an exciting... typical household stuff. So probably not that exciting for that age group, but we'll definitely have something interesting coming up soon. Lots of rides, reviews and first ride impressions. But what's not so exciting is this recurring issue with Apple laptops. Let me show you. If you remember, this is my 13-inch Apple MacBook Pro M1, the one I got last December. Here is the video in case you don't have access to that. And my reservation with Apple support is due at 1:20 in like 40 minutes. Oh, in case you're wondering what this bracelet is you need to check Instagram page to know what it is. So definitely follow me on Instagram. But see, the display looks fine, the touch bar looks fine. However, there is one issue. Can you see these scratches here? So that's the reflective coating which is slightly wearing off on the MacBooks. All MacBooks including iMacs have an anti-reflective coating. The problem with this or with MacBook is when you close the lid, but the screen actually touches the keyboard and the trackpad, and if the keyboard or the trackpad has some dust on it, very minute dust, it rubs every time you close and open the lid, and that's how those scratches appear. This happened on my 2014 Mac and they had some recall issue on that for 3 or 4 years, which I was not aware. So in the 5th year when I was in Canada, when I tried to replace, they said the return period is done, the recall period is done, so we can't do anything about it. So what I had to do is, like many others, there is a huge forum on Facebook and on different sites too, where people used Lysol baby wipes to remove the anti-reflective coating. It was almost a 2-hour job, but eventually I removed the entire anti-reflective coating on the display on my 13-inch on my 2014 Mac, and it is fine since then. So that's just the coating, not an issue with the screen or the display, nothing internal. It's just that the coating is too sensitive with dust and any scratches, and the gap between the keyboard and the screen is hardly anything. So I have an appointment at Aptronics in Banjara Hills to get that checked. Hopefully they can replace it in warranty, and then we have some news coming up on a new laptop, the new M1 Pro or M1 Max. I booked an M1 Pro, not the M1 Max, the 14-inch version. We still haven't gotten it. It will be at least second week of November, so we still have time to cancel it in case the reviews are not that great. But so far the initial impressions, M1 Max is faster than the best Windows gaming laptops and more efficient. So that is bonkers, man. In fact, the raw power of M1 Max is faster than a PS5, which is in some cases used as a supercomputer. I'm not saying MacBooks are supercomputers, but these M1 chips or M1 series, including the base M1, because I edit and post videos on 4K, the performance is already mind-blowing. So I can only imagine what M1 Pro and M1 Max will be. M1 Max is probably an overkill unless you're like a deep data-driven scientist or someone who runs like crazy stuff. So this camera shoots. There is too much of background noise. Let's get in the car and talk, shall we? As I was saying, M1 itself is amazing. I got my M1 laptop in December 2020, and one reason I wanted to get an M1 is to shoot high resolution video and also be able to edit high resolution video easily. M1 was in December, then Sony camera happened later, I think in April or May. Since I got this camera, the 4K footage quality on this camera is at the topmost level. It's pro level. You can shoot, I mean, like each minute is equal to 1 GB. That is just in terms of how much the export data would be. Exports happen in like 15 minutes. I do background rendering. That's all a bit too technical for you guys, but what I mean to say is all the laptops, including the last gen 16-inch Core i9 discrete graphics Mac, used to struggle with 4K clips from this, but the M1 didn't. M1 was like 95% of the time perfectly smooth in handling that. So do you realistically need an M1 Pro or M1 Max? No, but it's more like if I have to take a laptop now, if I didn't take last year, I would go for the best available for my requirements. Not go exorbitant and buy the supercomputer specs. I would probably get the 14-inch with the highest of M1 Pro spec, not the M1 Max, because that's an overkill here. We won't have 8K footage anytime soon, so unless you're shooting 8K like MKBHD and parallelly streaming that to external monitor and TV, you don't need M1 Max. That's not at all required. So I didn't feel like wasting that money. So M1 Pro 14-inch would be the ideal computer. So I plan to sell this for a 13-inch M1 Mac. So hence getting it checked now for that screen coating issue. Again, there is no issue with the display quality. It's just that the screen anti-reflective coating is going off. And I had this issue before. I neglected it on the old 2014 Mac. But this one I don't want to. I want to get it rectified before the warranty expires. And the warranty on this is for 3 years. Apple Care, even though expensive, it helps in the cases like this. We also have an interesting delivery happening this evening. Another electronic gadget. Sorry if it's getting too much, but this is something for my wife. I planned it a long time back, so finally it arrived. So it'll be a surprise for my wife. But for now, let me get to the Apple Service Center and get this laptop checked.
A few moments later.
So we got some bad news. They didn't accept the laptop for service. Did you really think I'll throw the laptop down? No, that was a joke. They took it. Initially they hesitated, saying this display issue is not mentioned or covered. I was like, this has been there since 2014. You have to Google MacBook Steingate to understand what the issue is. I tried to explain it to them also the same. They said officially there is no recall program. Even in 2014-15, Apple didn't publicly announce a recall. It was only an internal memo that released where they said they're covering that stain gates where they replace the screens. Not a major problem, but when you're editing, when you do some color grading and all these things matter and can be irritating. Let's see, I'll get to know in 3 to 4 days if anything can be done about it. For now, just heading home for lunch. But before heading home for lunch, as I said, we have a delivery, right? Actually, a pickup, not a delivery. Let's go collect it and then surprise my wife. माल दे दो सब.
पक्का सेफ रखते हैं ना माल को.
हाँ, नंबर देना है दिखाना है. Thank you, sir. You know how much you're saving? Me, 6,000.
7 కాదా?
हाँ, 6 no.
Cheap shit.
Yeah, I know. One thing I wanted to see is how the 16-inch feels in hand. Can I lift it in single hand? You can, but heavier. And I don't like this dead space. The keyboard could have been bigger. Trackpad is bigger, but it's just a dead space. For me, portability is important because I travel, and while traveling, 14 or 13-inch make perfect sense. Best part is the screen. 16 inches, perfect. So I have to figure out if I need portability or not. That will help me decide should I get the new 14-inch or the 16-inch. Because my previous setup was a 13-inch Mac and an iMac, a 27-inch iMac, but I decided to ditch the iMac and go for one laptop. I can use a external monitor. So this is the 13-inch Pro. Look how light and portable this is. That's the advantage with this one. Thank you so much. My name is Kiran. Took a while to get it, but finally we have the 13 in pink color. Gift for my wife. I'm giving her iPhone, she gave me the iPad. We exchange gifts. We don't have any dates, we just exchange gifts. Let's see the reaction of her because I told her it's gonna take at least 10 more days. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Naaku iroju phone vachindi surprised.
Oh no,
Came
thank
earlier.
you for surprising me also.
Unboxing.
నిన్ననే అనుకున్నాం కదా.
Yeah.
పెన్ సైజ్.
Unbox. రాదు, దానికి ఒక టెక్నిక్ ఉంది.
తెలుసులే ఇక్కడ
కాదు.
ఆరో ఉంది.
ఆరో ఉంటే అటు నుంచి లాగాలి కదా, ఇదంతా ఎందుకు ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నావు? పైది ఉందమ్మా ఆరో, కింద పడుతుంది. టేబుల్ మీద పెట్టు ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్.
చూసా.
అట్లా ఫోన్
నైస్ కలర్ నో.
టెక్నిక్ లేదు, పాడలేదు.
I like the color. Thank you.
So already saw this color in the store, but looks nice here. That's the 12 and that's the 13.
నాదే బాగుంది.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
the gift.
I was more excited to get that iPhone than you.
Oh, అవునా?
I will steal that sometime. Convinced her to switch to an Apple. Initially her budget was around 40,000. Made it 50 slowly, then 60. Then finally Apple budget aa gaya. I mean, we couldn't find like a good, really 5 out of 5 star in Android phone. Pixel 6 Pro looks interesting. Wanted to wait till then, but then that's gonna be that's not gonna available in India immediately. So iPhone was good. All my family devices are in Apple. Samsung is something I looked at. Flip 3 was exciting, but also same price. So we thought better to go with trustworthy phones which work well. My mom uses an iPhone. We thought it'll be easy to share stuff and watch stuff. Currently transferring the data from the Android phone. There is a great app called the Move to iOS app on Android which you can use to transfer pretty much most of your stuff. So the time varies based on network and all. First impressions, the camera lens looks quite big, but the notch is pretty small, noticeable. That's iPhone 13 and this is iPhone 12. Look at the size of the notch, much better, right? And on the back, look at the lens size difference, huge difference. That's why they had to place it diagonally. Rest all are the same, just the cameras and the notch. It took a while to figure out the phone setup because the phone transfer from Android to iPhone is through an app, but they connect through Wi-Fi. So that's how the data transfer. So if the phones are not nearby, it was taking time. I thought it was through internet, but no, it's through Wi-Fi connection that was set up between the phones through the app. Some of the stuff didn't come, so we might have to use Google Drive to transfer the photos and all, but it'll be done. That's not a problem. Most of the data is done, especially the contacts, which are the most important. Anyway, the laptop has at the service center, so I'm using my old 2014 MacBook Pro to do the edits, but 4K editing on this is such a nightmare, man. Like, I don't know if you can see, but the transitions or the frames are being skipped. It's very hard to edit. And can you hear this? That's the fan which has been running for the last 2 hours. And there's a small display issue on this laptop. I don't know the timing of it, like display issues all now. So I don't think it is worth replacing that display because display alone can be 25,000-35,000 and the value of the laptop is 25,000. So probably not worth replacing the display. So we can use it like this with an external monitor. But I hope this ends soon, man. I can't edit videos like this. Even though in 2 hours I finished a 12-minute 4K clip with proxies, it is still not the best of experience. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed it. And in case you're watching this night time, have a good night and take care. Bye bye. The cooker sounds throughout this video.